I'm turning this on now. 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Morning. Hey. Welcome everyone to, this is actually episode 6 of How to Socialise.
Ooh.
I know. How do you feel about that number?
I quite like the number 6.
All right, good. Too bad if you didn't. We're here.
I want to be 9. I just want to be 9.
I want out. I'm leaving. This
later.
sucks. So this is the beautiful Julia from Nestle Porter in Perth. Hey. Hi. And today the focus of this Webby is how to use Instagram to grow your graphic design business. Oh, look at all the people joining us. Morning, everyone.
Lucky I'm wearing my glasses.
Morning. Lucky you're wearing your glasses so you can see.
I can see everyone. I can't see anyone like that. No, I can't.
I love it. So, shall we begin?
Let's do this.
Let's rock this popsicle stand. I got my button here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Julia, please tell us who you are and what you do.
So my name is Julia, but I go by G because no one can pronounce my name right. I say Gulia, because it's spelled with a G.
It's spelled with a G.
So my work world name is G. I have 2 kids. I'm married. I live very locally to my office in Leederville, which is very handy for when I need to run in and do things.
Very handy. Can you see it from here?
Almost.
Mm.
No, that's a lie. You can't see it. It's just 5 minutes that way.
If you got a drone and went up.
Yes, totally.
Got it.
And my business is Nestle Porter, and we do a whole range of different things, graphic design based. I like to personalise items, work with corporate, private, wedding, personal, whatever you need, pretty much. So I love a challenge, bring it on.
She's the all-rounder.
Yeah, that's
What's
me.
the strangest job you've ever had? Sorry, I'm segueing from the prepared questions.
The strangest job I've ever done.
Or even an inquiry that you were like, why? Why would I do that?
Someone has wanted me before to personalise like a pair of underwear for their groom. So like, it's not
What did
weird,
it
but
say?
it's just like weird to have someone else's, just like hubby.
Like you've
it's
been
just weird. I've
touching it.
touched someone else's underwear. And like, just a bit
Can
too
you
much.
do that for me later?
Maybe. I mean, I'm fully booked for the year, so maybe next year.
Okay, next year. I'll let Dom know.
Cheers.
Next year.
Great.
Okay, tell us, how did you get into graphic design? Because for those of you who don't know, 1,000 years ago, I said 1,000,000 this morning.
Yeah, let's just use 1,000.
1,000 years ago, we studied interior design together, and that's how I actually originally know Julia. So, what happened from then to now?
So, I worked in interior design for 5 years. I worked in office design. It was lots of fun. I loved it. And then I also went back to TAFE and I actually lectured in interior design.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
So you finished?
I finished.
Because I didn't finish.
I finished only, I don't even know why. I did finish. I didn't go to class a lot.
I know.
I went into the city.
I remember. We had a lot of fun.
It was good fun. It was a great social time.
It was a great social time.
Great social time. I just used to sit there in all the classes and then just like leave, or sometimes get dropped off to TAFE and then I just leave.
Yes.
So that's how I lived.
Yes, good.
And then
good.
after I did that, so I did that for about 5 years, and then I decided, you know what, like I always wanted to do something by myself and start my own business. So I quit my job. I went and got a part-time job at 9 West just to cover some cash.
Good.
So I could still have some money coming in.
Yeah,
And
side
then
hustle.
Yeah, and then I just sat there and
I
just sat there and I wanted to personalise items. So I started doing a lot of personalisation, and then the business just evolved really organically. So someone, I think, asked me to do some wedding stationery for them and design their invites. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. I'm creative. So I think when you're creative, you can do a whole lot of different things.
Well, you don't see anything as a limitation.
No.
I think when you're a creative, you say yes to everything and anything that you don't know how to do.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh,
and then you cry at home.
how am I going to do this?
And you figure
And
it
then you
out.
overcommit.
Yes.
And then 4 years later, here you are.
Exactly. That's exactly how it happened.
I love it. So, tell me about your customers. Who do you work with?
My customers are, at the moment, 80% of my customers are brides.
Okay.
So they come from off the street. So straight, not from a stylist or not from a referral. So they just come straight from my Instagram. So I don't do any form of advertising. So I've never advertised.
I said yes.
I've
amazing.
never done like a wedding fair. I've never done any promotional anything on the street, so to say. So everything comes straight from Instagram. My website is horrific, and it has always been horrific.
I love that.
So I purely am thankful for Instagram.
So there you go. End of interview.
Done. See you later.
Done.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
But proof that it works. It works.
It does. It really does. And like, if you ask me to like bring a whole lot of information to you, to be like, how did you get your work? Just off some photos off Instagram. That's all it has been. I don't have any other material that has got me any jobs.
That is incredible.
That's just the way it's gone.
Incredible. Okay, so if we're looking at brides, how do you help them? What do you do for them?
So I like to have a consult, or we can chat over the phone, and we go through everything that you need. Sometimes it's with a stylist, so the ideas come from the stylist, but when it's coming from a bride, that's when I get to be really creative and just come up with a few different ideas. Or a lot of people like, I love this photo from your Instagram, or it's sent me 4 photos from my Instagram. I like a bit of this, I like a bit of this, let's see what you can do. So perfect. I use my Instagram as a platform for inspiration as well for all my brides.
Yep.
So the way I hashtag everything is on the top of my Instagram. There's like NP invitations, NP menus, NP signage. So you can click NP signage, and everything that I've got on my Instagram that is signage will appear.
Oh, I love that. So you're really using all of the functions and features available. Yeah. That's so good. This makes me happy. Hi from mid-flights to Perth. Oh, cool. Hi.
Hi.
Hi up in the air. Hi. Awesome. That's really cool. I really like that. Now,
big truck.
There's a truck outside. What do you say to people who don't believe in using a professional graphic designer and prefer to DIY?
Okay, so
here we go. You're like, let me just get out my script.
How long do we have?
Well, we have an hour.
Okay, all right. So I'll talk for 59 minutes.
Okay.
So the benefits, I'll tell you about the benefits of a graphic designer.
Tell us the benefits.
So if you're starting a business, or you are a business, if you design your logos yourself and you're not using a program, you're going to get a JPEG, and that's a flat image, and you can't do jack shit with that flat image.
Is that why it's a JPEG?
Should
be a J shit.
J shit. So it's a flat image, and you can't edit that file, so you can't use it to cut signage, you can't use it to manipulate your logo. It's just a flat picture.
Okay.
And a lot of people that have started their businesses, like, I get you don't have, there's not a lot of money in startup, but investing in a logo and proper files is very important. Because you can take those files, they're like your babies, you take them and you can use them for anything. You can use them for your Instagram. So you can always tell when a logo's a bit blurry sometimes, or it's not high quality. It's just a real low quality image. So programs like Canva are great if you're starting out, but then once you've got a little bit of capital, that's when I'd suggest investing in a designer to create, even if it's just recreating that logo, that same logo, you've got some editable files that you can work with.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, because sometimes when someone's like, can you cut me a window decal? So when I get that JPEG, that's not an editable file that I can use. So I need the raw file, and then that raw file will enable me to manipulate that, make it a different color, do whatever I need to do, so I can use that file. So that file will help build your brand, so you can do things with it. Yeah. Now with wedding stationery, it's really important. So some people, it just is really important to print everything on the same paper.
Hang on. No, it's gone. I didn't want to just sneeze while you were talking.
You can sneeze.
No, it's gone. It's gone. I scared it off. Okay. Back to wedding paper. So when you engage a designer, we're going to make sure that it's going to be tip-top, perfect, slick. We're not going to use crappy A4 paper for your invites that you're going to print at home. We've got a better printer. Let's be honest, it's $10,000, $12,000. There's up to $100,000 more $1,000 printers, and the quality is going to be slick. You're going to get something really beautiful. We make sure that all your fonts are legible, so that they're the right size, because that's really important. You don't want to get some stationery and then the invite's this big and then the little info card's this big. Yeah. It's not cut straight. Do you ever see, sometimes when I'm driving and I see a really big traffic sign, I wonder what size font it is? Do you ever do that?
Oh, all the time. All the time. And my eye is so good that if you print something, I can tell you if it's 1 or 2 mils off.
What font size is that?
Oh, that's a 13.
I don't know.
It is.
You might be right.
Or if you've got something printed, if it's 1 mil off, 2 mils off, I can tell. Like, my eye is that good, and
That is amazing.
that's something I pride myself on.
She's a real professional.
I really am all about the detail. But it's really important to trust someone. So when we're not like, we're not saving lives, we're not doctors, we're not, orthodontists, but what we do is very important, and it just,
detail matters.
Detail matters.
No matter what your business is.
We don't charge a fortune because we want all your money. You're paying for our time, so we are providing a service. We are providing our expertise. This is what we specialise in. That's why it costs a certain amount of money.
And there's some things computers just can't do.
Yeah. So, and all the programs that we use, we pay subscriptions. There's always education that comes with this. So we've got ways to do things better, clever ways to do things, and when you don't do it yourself, you sort of get that, that's nice, that's a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
That's the eye. That's the creative eye that you're paying for.
Amazing. I love it. Okay. Community Q&A. So these are the questions that have come from the people.
Into them.
What is the best way to start out on Instagram with limited work you can share when you're just starting your business?
Okay, so there's 2 things you can do. Find a passion project. Find something that you really want to do and just redesign it. Or you're like, I'm just going to pretend that there's a bakery and I'm going to design what I would like that bakery to do. Cool. So show your audience a bit about yourself.
Yeah, your style.
A bit of your style. And then once you start with that and keep posting different images about that. So if you've designed a fake bakery, post this business card, post the logo, post the colour palette, and then someone will go, I can resonate with that. I have a connection towards that. Maybe they can do that for my brand. Or ask like a family member or a friend that's getting married and be like, let me design something for you. And even if they don't use it, you've got a client, you've got a brief, and you can create something and you can show your audience what your style is.
Yeah, I love it. Because that's what Instagram is about as well. It doesn't matter what you do, there will always be someone that wants the way you do it specifically, and a lot of people that don't want the way you do it specifically, and that's fine.
That's good.
That's good.
You don't want everyone.
No,
you don't. You just don't.
So the only way that you're going to attract the right clientele to your brand is by sharing your personality on this platform, which is going to bring them in and attract them. Oh, we got a lot of love hearts there. Thank you, Shuba Rama.
Thank you.
Oh, hello. Hi. Sounds like a good time. It's getting it on.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. Good tips.
Thanks.
So bakeries are where it's at.
Bakeries.
Do you need a certificate or degree to be successful in graphic design?
No, I don't have any in graphic design. I just have an advanced diploma in interior design and environmental sustainability that I've never used. No relevance to graphic design. So I think if you're creative or you have an eye for creativity, you can do it. You just have to practice and practice and practice.
Yeah.
So you have to be passionate and you have to listen to your client's briefs. That's the most important part. You can be very qualified, but if you're not listening to your client's brief, you're not really going to achieve anything.
I love that. You have to listen to your customers. Your customers are the reason you have a business.
Exactly right.
So simple.
There's nothing else to say, really.
So simple.
It's a fact.
Y-E-S, yes.
What's your business name? Would love to follow.
Oh, Nestle and Porter.
Why Nestle and Porter?
So, funny story. My husband was in the kitchen one day and he's like, where's the Nestle and Porter? Where's the Nestle and Porter? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he pulls out the mortar and pestle and he called it a Nestle and Porter. And I was like, great name. If I ever start a business, that's what it'll be called.
I love that.
So no relevance, just to dig at my husband every day. All along the Oxford Street.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, because my business name has nothing to do with social media. We won't get into what it is, but people are always like, yeah, but why? I'm like, because it has no meaning, but at the same time, it has so much meaning.
So much meaning, but no relevance.
No relevance, but that's what makes it unique as well.
Some people think we import Nestle chocolate, like we're Nestle importers.
Okay, yeah, got it.
But
it doesn't have the little
I know,
though.
People just...
Yeah, people do their thing. Don't worry, every couple of days I get an inquiry for a villa in Bali to be managed. And I'm like, oh, not today.
Not today, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
So I understand. Okay, I like that. So, leading on from that then, how do you learn basic graphic design without a degree or a TAFE course?
Practice. You purchase the programs.
What software would you recommend?
So
or is
I
that a
use
secret?
No, that's not a secret at all. So I use the Adobe Suite.
Ooh.
And you can purchase different memberships. You can also do some free trials if you have a few different email addresses. Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
And what I would do is I would just practice and open every single button, have a look at what it does, click through every single toolbar, look at the shortcuts, look at tutorials, jump onto YouTube, type in how to draw a circle in InDesign, how to draw a shape. I still sometimes I shivers, I forgot how to join a few shapes together. How to join a shape in InDesign. There's a tutorial. No, I do know how to do that. It's not like I don't know how to join shapes. So, but if I didn't, that's what I would do. So you just, YouTube, there's so many different like tutorials online. Adobe Suite.
You really can learn everything on YouTube.
And there's also a little help button on your program, so you can just type something in.
Yeah.
Ask people around you. Ask someone who's in the industry. Like, they're not trade secrets, so like if anyone has anything they want to ask me about the programs, holler at me. So I didn't even use InDesign before. I used to just use Illustrator, and then I had to learn how to use InDesign. Because it's a better program for designing, and a few of my staff were only using InDesign at the time. So I thought I'd better bite the bullet and learn how to use it.
Yeah.
And I taught myself how to use it in a few weeks. Like, it's not that tricky.
What's CAD? Remember CAD?
Yeah,
I feel like if you can use CAD,
yeah, you can use CAD.
You can use anything.
Yes. Drawing house plans. If you can do that as well, that's a plus. Definitely. Good. Great.
Oh, great tips. You're full of so much knowledge. Okay, what are your top 3 tips to starting your own business?
Ooh, these are my favourite things. Okay, so do not undercut. Do not come into the market and something's going to cost, if you're $120 an hour, don't go charging $30, $40 an hour. Why? Yes, you might get a few jobs, but that's your own time. Can you pay your bills with that? Can you pay your mortgage? Can you buy your Gucci bag? No, you can't do any of those things. So, and you're also, what you're doing is you're bringing the price,
like the industry
level down.
Yeah.
And then if you want to bring it back up, you know what? You've stuffed it for yourself and everyone else. So if you're like, I've got a few jobs now, I've been doing this for a year, I don't want to charge $30 an hour. You can't go ahead and go, oh, I'm going to charge $120 an hour or $60 like everyone else, because you've assisted in bringing the industry level down. Yeah. So you're just because you're starting out doesn't mean that you can't charge what you want to charge. Yep. If you're talented and people want what you're doing, they'll pay for it. Yeah. And absolutely. Be proud of that. You have to be really proud of yourself. Yeah. And go, yes, I can do this. I can charge just like everyone else. Just because I'm new doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm just as worthy as everyone else in the industry. Absolutely. So that's tip 1. Tip 2, find your niche. So find a gap, find a hole, find a crevice, find something that someone's not doing. Don't be like, oh, that person's planting trees really well. I'm going to start a business planting trees as well. That's really niche. So someone else, if you're going to start doing that, they're going to be like, oh, you know. You kind of look like you just planted her trees. Yeah, exactly right. Oh, we've got some questions. We use Adobe Illustrator. Do you think there's better programs out there? So, okay, so I personally deep down love Illustrator because I think it's very organic. You know, you can drag things, you can pull things. There's no strict regimented things like InDesign does. I think as long as your files are ready to send to print and you can pop a crop mark on them, I don't think it really matters which out of the Adobe suite you're using. So Illustrator is great, but InDesign's really good because it saves a lot of time. So there's a lot of shortcuts. There's a lot of way to set up little, like making fonts all the same and making spacing and kerning and all these things all the same. So I think if you're happy with Illustrator, keep using Illustrator. That's what I use. That's how I started my business. I used it for 3.5 years. I've only just started using InDesign this year. So I think it's totally fine. Find the program that works the best for you, but make sure it's a legit program. Yeah, that's a good tip. Such a good point. Charge what you're worth. Yeah, 1,000%. When I started working with my business coach, and such a weird thing, you know, for 10 years or basically my whole working life, I'd been paid what somebody else said I was worth. And then when I started with my business coach, probably a year into my business, we worked out I was earning $8 an hour. But you don't think about it like that. It's just weird. You have to divide the time. So let's just say you've charged $100 or $200 for something. You know, you need to put your time into that. You know, just because it's cheap and you're like banging it out and you're maybe doing 5 or 6 of them, wouldn't you rather do 1 or 2 and do them really well and have a little bit of a life as well? That to me is more valuable than doing 20 million and making the same amount as 10. But then also bringing the industry down. You know, it's just really important. And, you know, ultimately you are running a business to make money. Yes, it helps if you love what you do, and it's important to love what you do. There has to be the passion, but you're doing this because you want to earn an income. And why not earn an income doing something you love? But it needs to be worth it. So you just have to stay true to yourself and be like, I'm worth it.
I am worth it.
I'm worth it.
Yeah, cute. I love it. Print it on some undies. Julie will
Let's
do
do
it for you. And, okay, so we did tip number 1, tip number 2. What's tip number 3?
Tip number 3. Ooh, maybe there was just 2 tips.
Just 2 for today.
Let's do 2. So, know your worth, don't undercut, find your niche. Maybe let me just quickly check my notes because I feel like I wrote 3. Be original.
Be original.
Yeah. Be original, assess the market, and just do something new and awesome.
That's a good point. Assess the market. Can you explain what you mean by that? Because I know there'll be people that don't understand, but it's so important.
Is that a question about assessing the market or just I love you too. I really do.
Thanks.
Love you. So, I love you too. So, assessing the market. So, have a look at what everyone else is offering.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean like making a fake email address and getting everyone's packages. That's
You've got to do some benchmarking, guys. It's on you to do that. It's not up to anybody else to do that for you.
Exactly. Assess the market. Like, go out, like if you're going, I don't know why I keep using a bakery. I'm just going to keep using a bakery.
I love it.
Okay. You want to open a bakery?
I worked at Baker's Delight. It was my first job. Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm hungry that I'm thinking about a
Maybe.
sweet. So, bakery. So, I'm going to open a bakery. I'm going to go to a few bakeries. I'm going to try a few of their treats. I'm going to look at what they're doing. I'm not going to copy them. I'm not going to be like Baker's Delight makes a delicious Vegemite scroll. I'm going to make a Vegemite scroll.
Delicious Vegemite scroll.
I'd be like, I love Vegemite. Let me do something else with Vegemite. Let me, like, what aren't they doing with Vegemite?
Yeah.
Like, what aren't they doing that? They're not putting in puff pastry. I don't know if you can do that, but like, have a look at what they're not doing.
About this before.
But you just have to look at what people are not doing, and that's your little key to success. Don't go making the Vegemite scroll.
Yeah. It's so true. And that links in with finding your niche as well.
Exactly.
So do your research, see what's out there, go on Google, use Facebook groups, put some time and effort into it because that is what is going to set you aside. I get so many messages constantly asking me if I think their business idea is a good idea.
How are you going to know?
I don't know. I don't do that. You know?
Yeah.
It's up to you as the business owner to work that out yourself.
And going back to before having not enough content when you're starting out, back to the Vegemite. If you want to put Vegemite in a puff pastry, do it. Pop it on Instagram. See if anyone wants to buy it.
It's so
there
true.
You're creating some content. It might turn to shit.
Yep.
But you know you've tried it. You've tested the market. You've assessed the market. You've done something different. If it works, great. Puff pastry and Vegemite is the new thing. It's not the new thing. You keep trying.
You heard it here first.
Vegemite.
You're most welcome to visit India.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Okay. Where do you get your ideas from?
Okay, so it's really hard, I feel, because Instagram is so prevalent and everyone's always on Instagram and we're looking at photos and we can save images. It's hard, then this is where it's hard to come up with fresh ideas.
Yeah.
Because subconsciously you're like, I've seen this amazing thing and I'm going to do it and I'm the first person that's done it.
Yeah.
And then you do it and then 2 minutes later you're like, oh, I just saw it.
Yeah.
So I like to look internationally. So I like to also look at what other designers are doing. So I also like to draw inspiration not just from graphic design. So I like to look at fashion parades, fashion shows, other brands overseas, other people doing magazines. I love magazines. Like people don't touch magazines enough, I feel. And it's nice to like flick a page. So I like to buy some magazines, have a flick through. Yeah. And it might not necessarily be a font or a logo. I could like be like, oh, I'm falling in love with like some really bright colours or some happy colours. How can I translate this to a project? So it's just about also creating an emotion with the job. So how can I do that through certain elements? So international is a nice place to go because it's not so much in your own backyard.
Totally. I think that's a really good point as well. And Australia is so small.
So small.
And there's a big world out there.
And I'm not saying copy from international.
No, but
just draw inspiration from somewhere else that has a
Totally.
different background. They've got different briefs. They've got different reasons for doing things. So
Yeah.
also, like, it's sometimes really nice just to write a few things down. Do a bubble board. Write words down. Do whatever you need to do. Sounds a bit primary schoolish, but
no,
it's
that's
so
effective.
effective. It's
I
so
say
effective.
brainstorming and lists.
Yeah.
Brainstorming
What's it called
and
where you
lists
put
are
the
life.
word in the middle and you draw the bubble around it and then you draw the line and then you write a word? You know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
Do a SWOT analysis. Look
Yes,
at different ways.
SWOT
I love a
analysis.
I love it.
So, do you know so many people don't even know what that is?
Really?
When you start a business, the first thing you should do is a SWOT analysis.
Totally.
Would you like to tell people what it is?
Strengths, weaknesses, oppositions, and threats.
Because it's also very good as you go through your business, things will happen and you'll suddenly realise that you've overcome what was a weakness when you started. And they're the moments where you feel like, okay, I got this.
It gives you that little oomph to keep going.
Yeah, I can keep going. Hi G, how did you come to have such a cool office?
Well,
Boom.
that's from my office buddy Lara.
I love it.
We have a cool office because we work super hard
Yeah.
and we created something super cool.
It is a really cool office and the toilet smells really nice, which I know is a strange thing to say, but it does.
And our toilet is pink.
It's pink.
It's all pink. So if you're ever stuck on Oxford Street and you need a toilet, just come up.
Even boys.
Even boys.
Okay, software, we already talked about that. All right, how do you deal with copycats?
Okay.
It's a big one.
This is a tricky one because, like, we're in 2019, so everything is available to everyone.
Yeah.
So I think
With one touch.
With one touch. So I feel if we were in, like, 1975 and there was just a newspaper.
Were we born?
No.
No.
I
wasn't either.
No, God, no.
Could you imagine?
I don't even think my parents were married then.
Mine had like 45 kids already.
I don't even know. Back in the day,
Yeah.
there was only one newspaper, and let's just say there was an article about a bakery.
There's a theme to this webinar, and it's not
graphic design.
graphic design anymore.
Okay, let's bring it back to graphic design. Okay, so let's bring it back.
Okay.
So I've created a logo for a bakery.
Yes.
No, so I've created a logo for something and I've popped it in the newspaper, and then someone's gone out and copied that logo. Mm-hmm. Back in 1975, there's not a lot of other media presences. There's no social media. There's no Facebook. There's no
Internet.
Was there TV? There was TV? Maybe. Who knows? It's before my
I think
time.
there was TV. I don't know. I wasn't around
So,
then.
okay, there weren't a lot of
Mind mapping.
Mind, yes.
Yeah,
mind
good
mapping.
one. Good
Thank
one.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you. So there weren't a lot of those things around. So if you copied a logo, like, everyone's going to know.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite obvious.
Yeah.
Whereas these days, I feel there's so much out there. There's two ways you can do it. You just, like, brush it off. Because I think if you don't brush it off, it's going to consume you. And then you're going to dive into that Instagram spiral of
And the energy that
finding
you're
this
putting
person
into...
and then their mum and then you find their cousin and then you see where their cousin and then you get infatuated in their lives.
Yeah.
So, two things. If it's concerning you that much, maybe just drop that person a line and be like, hey, how you going? I feel like what we're doing is similar, la la la, let's have a discussion about it. But that's quite hard to do in this industry and this world because everything is so everywhere.
And 99% of the time when you do that, the people
You're
say...
going to get a backlash.
Well, or they say, no, I'm not. And then you find yourself, like, explaining the reasons. Well, no, you are.
Yeah.
And it's just a waste of energy.
And half the time, your customer as well has sent you a photo of someone else's work being
You would
like,
get that
I
so
want
much.
this. I want
Yes.
this. And what I also get that from other graphic designers. So someone will be like, I love this style. And I'm like, you know what? Go straight to them. Because
Yeah.
if that's what you want, go to them.
Yeah.
So again, it comes down to, as the customer on this side first, doing the right thing. So let's not get someone else's work, send it to all the designers in Perth, get them all to quote on it, and whoever's the cheapest is going to copy it.
Yeah.
Some do, some don't. Personally, if I've seen something that I know is a certain style, and you can tell certain styles, I'll be like, just go straight to them. Like, if you love it that much, go straight to them.
Yeah.
So I see my work being copied a lot. I'm not tooting my horn, but I do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone else does. So
Because you're the OG.
I'm the OG.
Yeah.
G,
the original.
G the OG
G.
as well.
Yeah.
G
yeah.
the OG.
I love it.
And you just got to... It should
It's
push
only
you...
44 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
no offense.
Sorry. So youthful at 44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing well.
Liking it. So as well, it will push you to keep going. So
Yeah.
use it as a tool to be like, okay, I need to push myself to do something new. I
Yeah.
need to push myself to try something new, to create something new. Get your mind map out. Get your go back to your SWOT analysis. What part of my business can I grow on, so other people can keep copying me or keep doing other things? So it's just going to always be out there. I think you just have to be proud in what you're doing and knowing if you're being authentic to yourself and to your work. Just push it, keep walking.
And it does strive you to push forward and think of new things and create new things. Cause
it does hurt as well. Like, it
totally.
hurts, but you just got to keep
you
going.
got to move forward. Yeah. What's that Chanel quote? If you want to be original, prepare to be copied.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And I think it's really important, especially because of social media. You're one click away from your competitors all of the time.
And you can save, you can make a whole folio, a whole file on your competitors if you want.
Yeah.
So the inspiration is subconsciously building as well.
Yeah.
So just keep trying new things, keep striving to be better, a better version of yourself, a better designer.
Yeah.
And just keep going. You just have to let it go, especially in this day and age.
Don't
it's too
waste
hard.
that energy.
It's too hard.
I saw that. Oh dear, it was almost over.
Yeah.
Very good tips. Very good tips. How out of, let's say over time, out of all of your potential clients, how many do you think that you would have turned away because you didn't want to copy somebody else's work?
At least 10%. And I know that doesn't sound a lot,
No, that's
but let's
a
just say
lot.
I'm getting like 10%, like it's like I can count more, like it's not like one hand. It's not like 5 times.
Yeah.
Like I've turned down work a few times saying just go straight to them.
Yeah.
Especially when you're getting all the inspo images of someone else's style. Like we don't do a lot of like hand-drawn illustrations or hand calligraphy.
You have a very specific
We work
style.
with type. We're a little bit more structured and edgy and not so free and fluid.
Yeah.
So when I get that, I could do it, but I'm not very good at it. So you're not going to get something out of me that's amazing. So just go straight to that person.
Love it. Love it. All right. I'm excited about this one. How do you balance parenthood with being a kick-ass businesswoman?
Ooh. So, okay.
Julia had a baby like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, which is like 2 minutes, literally.
Yeah, and that's the second one. So she's got another one.
Yeah, thankfully they're at home. They'll be like,
They're under the table.
Yeah,
They're very quiet.
They're quiet. Okay.
Were both babies planned?
No.
Okay. So this is a whole nother...
No planned. Very lucky. Very, very lucky. So it's really tricky. So the best thing is you need a network. So you need to have friends, family help you. It takes a village to raise a child anyway. But when you have your own business, there's a constant struggle. And for most of us, our business was our first baby. So we started our business, we worked late every night, we stayed up late with it, we worked it hard, we nurtured our business to where we wanted it to be. Then this beautiful new life comes and you're like, where do I go? Or do I look after my baby full time, or do I run my business, but I love my business? So the balance is really hard, and I'm very fortunate that my husband can stay home from work a few days a week, or like, Lucy, come home right now. I need to go to meeting.
Help
me. My mum, people around me. But Mia Friedman said something really important that really resonated with me. You can't be, when you're being an amazing businesswoman, maybe your home life is suffering a little bit. And when your home life is going amazing, maybe you missed a meeting or your work life is suffering a bit. So you just can't have it all. It's impossible to be in 2 places at once. So you have to pick and choose. And you can't feel bad about what you pick and choose because you love both of them and they're both going to grow. So I can bring my child to work, which is very lucky. I can bring them to work when I need to, but there are times where I can't. So it's about balancing, right? So picking certain projects. So being like, I really want to work on this, I really want to put my heart and soul into that, I can, as opposed to taking on a whole lot of work and then I'm the one that's suffering, not my clients or my family, me.
Yeah.
And also being realistic with your clients. So if you're, like, what I find is sometimes I try to overachieve and say, yes, I'm going to do that in 2 days' time. I got 2 kids. Like, it's mental.
Yeah.
Like, I don't sleep yet. So if I say I'm going to have it in 2 days, that's probably a lie.
Yeah.
And so you have to be kind on yourself. So you have to say, okay, maybe I'm going to give myself a week so to know that you can smash that goal, still be home, be present for your family, and get the work done.
And especially the creative side. Like I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Creativity doesn't switch on at 9 o'clock and switch off at 5 o'clock. It doesn't work like that. So how do you balance those moments where, okay, maybe you are at home with the kids, but suddenly you're like, oh, I have a brilliant idea.
That's when the iPad is really handy.
Okay.
Here you go, here's an iPad. Or I like to get T, my oldest one, involved, so I'll pop him on my knee and we're on the computer together.
Cute.
And we'll try. It's very difficult. It's not like this perfect, and he's just giggling and not touching the mouse and not like swiping the keyboard and deleting things. So that does happen, but it's just about balance and realising that you can't do it all and that's okay. And also outsourcing. So I don't think you can cook and clean and look after your children and run a business. You need to outsource something. Get a cleaner. Get someone to watch your kids. Put your kids in childcare. Hire someone for your business. Contract someone for your business. Delegate a role to someone else. Don't do it all. And
has that been hard for you?
It's definitely been a struggle and it has been tricky, but I feel each day I'm getting better and better. And it's the pressure that I'm putting on myself. So going, okay, you know what, I can't do it all. Maybe for a while I just have to take on a few less projects. And maybe for a while I'm just going to not be home 1 day a week so I can be in the office. Yeah. So everything has to give, and that's just the reality of owning a business. Yeah. And if you want your business to keep growing and succeeding, sometimes you have to do that. Yeah. And it's all going to be okay in the end of the day. It's just not being too hard on yourself. And speaking to other mothers as well. So I've gotten great tips from other mothers that own their own businesses as well. So speak to other people. Don't be too scared to reach out because we're all in the same boat. Yeah. We're all balancing. We're all trying to figure out life and run a business. So it's okay to ask for help or be like, how do you do this? What do you do about this? Talk to people. It's really important to talk.
Yeah, use your network and use your community. I think when I started my business, there were so many people that I put on a pedestal and I really admired, but would never think that they were as available to help as they were.
Totally.
And then you do suddenly realise that, like you said, everyone's in the same boat and they're willing to help.
100%.
If you just ask.
100%.
Love the chat. It's very true. It takes a village.
It does. And I just am very passionate about this because it has been a struggle that I've faced, and I know a lot of people are facing it. And, you know, when you do work for yourself, you look at other mums that have maternity leave and you're like, that's so beautiful. They have that. They've got, 9 months off. They're probably getting paid parental leave as well. Yeah. And that's not always the reality for working mums and business mums, but just because it may look pretty doesn't mean it always is pretty. So just be
1,000%.
Just follow what you need to do and just make sure that you're being kind on yourself. That's the most important part.
I like that. Cute. Be kind to yourself. Okay, let's go back. Well, we've I guess we've discovered this, but how do you convert Instagram likes into sales then?
Ooh, okay, so at Christmas time, I sell Christmas decorations. I sell stars. So I sell them based off like 2 or 3 posts from Instagram. Like I don't advertise them anywhere else. I don't even make them a paid post. I just rely on my organic Instagram growth, Instagram stories, and I just make sure that I'm directing people to the online shop. The online shop's not great and there's not a lot of stuff on there, but what's on there is good. So I make sure that the caption I've written is informative. It includes enough information not to have people DM me too much, so it's all there. They don't have to be like, oh, what size is it? Or when can I purchase it?
But they still do.
They still do, but it eliminates a whole lot of questions. Yeah. So, and I make sure that I'm posting on my Instagram stories, my posts. I'm not also banging on about it too much, like every 5 seconds, talking about my Christmas stars, so to say. Yeah. So that's for like physical items. For what I do, like the rest of my posts, like might show my work, I just make sure that it's what I would like to see, because ultimately that's the work I would like to receive, and hopefully if you like what I do, that's what you'll grab.
Put out what you want to attract.
Exactly right. Yeah. So if I do a lot of work that I don't post, not because I don't like it, just because maybe that day I'm not feeling it, and 2 weeks later I might be like, yep, I feel like today's the day that can go out. Yep. And that's what I feel, and I just make sure it's really informative and it's really me. So I don't write my posts
Yeah,
because that's
they're
not how
social.
I talk.
Yeah.
I write them
Yes,
like
you do. No, just kidding.
I like the word, using the word gorge and love and things like that, and that's what I use in my posts.
Yeah.
So I make sure it's authentic and it's true to myself, and that's what I rely on. So if you like my work, you'll click and you'll purchase.
Yeah, I love it. Perfect.
That's how I feel.
So do you use or have you used like a scheduling app to plan your feed or?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's
so
fine.
I will now that I'm more time poor.
Yep.
Because I don't have a lot of time, and my Instagram the last couple of weeks has been a little bit quiet.
You've been busy.
Been a little bit busy, but I make sure that I'm like still dropping a line on Insta stories and making sure that people know I'm there, what I'm doing.
I think that's important. There's so many ways to communicate on Instagram that don't need to be a perfectly curated feed, and use what you can, what you've got available to you at the time.
Totally.
You don't have time to curate a feed, jump on stories every day. Let people get to know you. Let them get to hear you. Let them get to see you, because that's going to build up that authentic connection, which is actually what you are still trying to do with the posts, even if they're curated.
Exactly right. And I don't curate all my posts. Like, I just look at them, blur my eyes and be like, that looks about right. That'll work for the day.
You take your glasses off.
I take my glasses off and I'm like, yep, I can't see any of that. It all looks okay. So that's going to work.
Yeah.
So, like, I haven't posted for a few, I don't even know how long, for a while, but I jump on Insta stories all the time. So the other week I did a tutorial on how to cut some vinyl and apply that onto signage. So
awesome.
It was still really informative.
Yeah.
I did it because it was in the moment. I was in the office. I had 10 minutes. I was feeling it, and I was able to punch something out.
Yeah.
But it's what I enjoy doing, and it's showing people another side of my business that's not just an image.
Yeah.
So, and
I love it.
You know, you get to hear a bit about me and my voice, and I find Insta stories really good as well, because everyone loves to know about everyone. So, but they don't want to see that on a post. So you don't want to know about my kids and like what my kitchen cups are like and what tap I've got on my posts, because that's not why you're there. You're there for the design.
Yeah.
You're there to flick through either for inspiration because you're looking for a service, or you just like what I do.
Yeah.
You're not there to like know what slippers I'm wearing and things like that, but you like to know what slippers I'm wearing. So you'll look at my Insta story, and that's where I bring a bit of my personality into it. So
Love it.
I feel that for me, those posts aren't as successful. That's why I pop on my Insta story, and there it's successful, because people like to know about me and my friends and what I'm doing and things like that, and like where I'm going for breakfast, or what this is a cute photo, I'll just post that. Yeah. So that's where I can inject a bit of my personality a little bit more.
I love it. And use your feed as more of a portfolio
more
of your
a
work.
Portfolio. Because if I was to go get a job tomorrow, I don't have a portfolio, I don't have a resume. My Instagram is my resume.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking for new clients or I'm looking for new work, I'm like, jump on my Instagram, because I don't have a portfolio. I don't have time for that.
Yep.
My Instagram is my portfolio.
It's everything.
You'll see how I speak, you'll see what I work on, you'll see my style, you'll see everything about me.
It's amazing. I love it. So much knowledge. Okay, last thoughts. What's the best piece of business advice you've received?
It's okay to say no. You can't do it all. And I know I've said this today. It's okay to say no to projects.
Though. Yeah.
And you have to, at a time, put yourself first. Because if you're going to burn out or you're going to suffer, so are your clients.
Yeah,
so
true.
If you want to be there for your clients and you want to give you the best to your clients, you can't say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And there are times where you can, and there are times when you can't, and it's acknowledging the times that you can't, and being realistic, as opposing to setting someone up for disappointment. You don't want to set anyone up for disappointment, let alone yourself. So just remember to say no. Don't burn yourself out, and when you're sick, stay at home and rest. Take that time. Still check your emails on your phone, because you're going to do that no matter what time of the day or night it is.
I don't have email on my phone.
That's so clever.
I know. Do you know what? I couldn't work out how to set it up. And then I was like,
blessing in disguise.
And now it's 4 years later.
That's so good. I went from having emails and notifications on my phone to removing them, to putting emails back on but no notifications. So I have to go in and refresh the page to see them. So I'm in control of when I see my emails. On the
weekend, I pause all my Instagram notifications. I know, it's a big one. But it gives me that opportunity to have it, for me, that same thing, for me to be in control. Yeah. Should I wish to look at it and engage and respond, I can. But it's not controlling me, because my phone just never stops. ever.
And it makes you a better businesswoman. Because
Totally.
when you come in, you're switched on, you're happy,
Totally.
you're engaged,
Yep.
you're inspired as opposed to like, oh,
Yeah, and
all
I'm
this
not
time.
distracted by other things that don't require my focus at
Totally.
that moment.
100%.
Agreed.
Love it.
So what's next for Nestle and Porter?
Ooh, so, my business grows organically. So I started doing personalised items, then I do weddings, and then I do printing on all different random materials. I sort of just go where the people need me.
Yep.
So, but
And then to bakeries.
and then to bakery to make Vegemite puffs. So, where's the business going? I don't know. All I know is that I love what I do. I'll continue to make my customers happy however they want me to.
Yeah,
so they want me to do a song and dance, I'll do a bloody song and dance. Whatever they need
She's
me to
available for musical theatre
do.
as
Exactly
of
right. And interpretive
today.
dance. I love a good interpretive dance.
Oh, hang on. So true with the notifications. Thank you so much for the tips and advice. Yay.
Woo.
Does posting only on stories attract new followers?
100%. For me personally, it does.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I'm using hashtags and a lot of, what's it called? The location
Location tag?
tag.
Yep.
So I do that when I'm out all
Yep.
the time, and then I find that photo gets retagged in
Yep.
that location. Is that how I would say it?
Yeah,
What's
well,
the
you-
right language?
Oh,
Give us the language.
it's your opportunity of exposure on that tag is increased.
Yes. So let's
Essentially.
just say I
Should
went
someone
to
search it?
the bakery.
So she went to the bakery.
I went to the
I love
bakery
it.
and I tagged the bakery in my photo, and then I also tagged the location. So then the bakery is like, oh, I love that photo, G. You've really hit it.
I'm
You're
gonna
like,
reshare
I'm
it.
going to reshare it.
Yeah.
And then you like sometimes I get a few followers that have come from the bakery post.
She has. I love it. I love it. You should open a bakery. Maybe that's what's next.
Maybe that's what's next.
Nestle and Porter baked goods.
Yes.
I thought that set down there said Oxford Street Bakery.
That's probably where the subconscious
I
is.
reckon it is. I love it. I love it.
But yeah, so what's next is, I want to expand my online presence, online store.
Yep.
It all takes time. So I'm just I also have to make sure I'm having a good time as well.
It's a constant to-do list,
Exactly
isn't it?
right. The to-do list never goes away.
Yeah, and what you want to do today changes by tomorrow.
Oh my God. Changes by the hour sometimes, depending what's going on.
It's so true. It does. All right. How can people find you if they want to work with you?
Instagram.
So what is your Instagram?
Nestle and Porter.
Tell them again.
Just Nestle and Porter.
Nestle
Spelt
and
like
Porter.
Nestle without the little Nestle and Porter.
Yeah.
So you can find me on there. You can also come to our Leaderville studio space. It is by appointment,
Just
but
what we
when we're
are
here, you can always just have a knock. We're above a bottle shop, which is very, very
Handy.
convenient.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel
I
free.
see what you did
yes, feel free to bring it up. Also, a bit of cross marketing for the bottle shop.
there. And obviously baked goods are welcome.
Baked goods, yeah.
I love it. Anything you feel you need to share with the people that you've not said yet?
I think in business, it's just important to stay true to yourself and remember, I was saying this to Brooke before, that we are all doing this to make a living. Yes, it's our passion, but we need to pay our bills. We need to pay our mortgage, we want to buy nice things or go on a holiday, or maybe you just want to make a bit of money, a bit of play money, whatever you want to do with your business. But you're doing it ultimately to make money. So you need to have goals. You need to have a business plan, a business structure. You need to have somewhere where it's going. And if you don't,
You need to have something to
you
measure
just need
against.
something forward. Always
Yeah.
have a step forward, and that's
Yeah.
really important. And I feel as well in the wedding industry, especially because that's where a lot of my time is spent. That there's all this collaborate over blah and all this stuff, and make sure you're collaborating and make sure you're sharing with everyone. And yes, you can do that, and that's really important. But sometimes it's also good just to stay in your own lane.
Yeah.
Focus on yourself. Don't look at too much
You've
what
only
everyone
got
else is
so
doing.
much energy
And so
as
much
well.
time.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the first few years of my business, I worked till 11, 12, 1 every night. I was in the
Yeah.
office, so I was away from my husband a lot.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time building and building and building and building. And that's really important as well. So if you want a successful business, you have to build it. And it is going to be hard work. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen overnight.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of tears. You're going to make a shit
Gonna
ton
be
of
a lot of
mistakes.
tears.
A lot of mistakes. And it's trial and error till you find something you're good at and something you like. And just because you love it doesn't always mean it's going to succeed. And don't make that a personal setback either. Don't be like,
Yeah.
well, I failed.
Yeah.
No, try something new. Keep going. Keep pushing yourself. And if you need to get a part-time job at 9 West to keep you going, Bloody do it.
Totally.
You just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. And if you want it to succeed badly enough, it will.
Definitely.
It really will. You've just got to do what you can with what you have. Go one day at a time, and make it work.
Damn straight.
Damn straight. Well, that's the end of this episode.
Thanks for having me, Brooke. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I feel like you gave so much incredible
I hope
advice.
so.
You really did.
So.
It was awesome. You are such an admirable businesswoman that you've done very well, and you're real and you're true to yourself, and you literally practice everything that you have preached today. So
Thanks so much.
thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
And if you have someone that you would like me to interview, let me know. Slide into my DMs and tell me. Bye guys. Hang on, let me turn this on off first.